I wonder which spirit Superheavy's the strongest. Sure hope my hammer doesn't wake them all up, right? Hey, look at that. Even the Archvile and Armored Baron. Let's start. So first of all, the Doom Hunter is a great one to start with because, as you know, he's already pretty quick, but look how relentless all of this firing is. You really have to stay on your toes with this guy. And the really hard part is not just the speed, but watch this. I'm going to go in for a falter, right? Oh, doesn't seem to care. And you just saw how badly I got beaten up by trying to go in for that falter, right? Well, what can you do about all this damage and power? Well, okay, we can try the energy shield to go in, right? Let's see if that works. Let's find him there. Here we go. Yes, you can get your double blood punch. He does rip through the shield pretty well, but the important thing to note too is that the blood punch doesn't instantly take him off his sled like it normally does with like a blood punch SSG or a double punch. So he becomes a really, really big threat there. Now, micro missiles, whether you know this or not, a lot of people don't, are actually pretty effective against Doom Hunters, even on their plasma shield. It's pretty effective to have micro missiles. Now, let's take a look here at how fast he goes, and you know, we do have a little bit of lock on, but it takes quite a few to actually get rid of him. I'll give the Doom Hunter a pretty difficult out of 5. You know we have to talk about the Tyrant. Now this guy, normally Tyrants get a bad reputation for being slow, and even the Codex says, they're slow to turn around. Use this to your advantage. You can clearly see here that this guy will not stop firing. Like everything that was wrong with the Tyrant, maybe not wrong, but everything that made them easy in the base game, it's just like id Software said, oh, okay, you got some problems with the Tyrant? Let's give you this. And they possessed him. All the attack speeds, he's basically like a gigantic tower. And while he doesn't move that much, if you're like over here messing around, you let this guy go, seriously, you're going to have a bad time. He takes like 30-something lock-on rockets just to get rid of. A little bit less if you do PB rocket like this, but then you don't get the added benefit of having it aimed for you almost. And he too is a really great example of an enemy that if you leave him alive, it will really mess you up. See, these possessed super heavies, while being a big problem by themselves, really nail down that feel of, hey, I'm a priority. You have to come and get me now or I will mess your day up. All like if you had some pain elementals or anything flying around, you know what? Let's actually try that out right now. I put 3 pain elementals up in the sky to go against this possessed Tyrant. He's down here on the ground giving me pressure. They're up in the air, and you can really begin to see how these possessed enemies work so well on the battlefield. This guy takes forever to kill. He is constantly raining down on you. It's so much pressure, and then when you do actually kill him, you have to watch the spirit going into all the other problem enemies and troublesome things in the area. Holy crap, possessed Tyrants are way up there. Maybe not Archvile level, but way up there with them, because if you leave them alone, they will screw your day up badly. And holy crap, does he not serve a purpose as a possessed enemy? Everyone's favorite possessed Marauder. Now this guy's interesting because mobile turret's actually a viable way to do some damage to him. Other than that, the dogs are a little bit annoying as per usual, and your typical SSG ballista just does not go far. You can actually falter him, thankfully. I mean, that is part of his fighting design here. But you have to really consider some other options you have. If you're in a really tight spot, or if it's like even the whole gate, this guy is a huge trouble because of how quick he is and the resistances. Now, I would actually put him as one of the tougher possessed monsters if he has other enemies nearby, because you already have to focus on the Marauder himself or let him go, your choice. And when you have other things nearby, it makes it that much tougher. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean there. We'll put an Armored Baron in. What do you focus on? Where does your energy go to? It's both. Look how oppressive this guy is. I mean, you can't not give the possessed Marauder a little bit of love and a little bit of attention when it comes to being spirited, right? So let's actually take him down and talk about the next enemy. We gotta talk about everybody's favorite Baron. I mean, if these guys weren't aggressive enough in the first place, they are so much more now. I normally like to go in and blood punch these guys, but you really have to be careful doing that because it's so hard to set up falters, and we really come to appreciate falters when we don't have them, and you really consider how integral they are to the game. The Ice Bomb, don't even worry about that as well. Now, I remember in the Blood Swamps when this guy was changed to not be people's potential first spirit encounter. I can get that, but man, there's not much else out there that really gives you that pressure from a possessed Baron. I mean, everybody loves to do the lock-on the Barons, right? But they have that 30% resistance to it normally, and it just eats up so many rockets. Of course, micro missiles are another favorite of mine on the possessed enemies, as each one does have different resistances, but even with that little bonus for killing the fodder, which I did not do here, that Baron is just so hard to deal with when he's possessed compared to not. Everybody wants to fight him. He is the possessed Archvile. Now, the biggest thing about this guy is look how rapid fire he can go whenever he decides not to just sit there. It's just so relentless, and you thought an Archvile himself was bad. If he does get to summoning, that's very, very dangerous. But something I want to point out here, look at his aversion to the lock-on rockets. He really seems to just want to dodge those very, very well. And let's just freeze lock-on. Oh wait, you can't do that. So it's more than just the possession that the Spirit Archvile gives you the problem. It's more than just, oh, we're going to go fast and he's going to shoot quickly and he's got to dodge our lock-ons. That's the thing. All of these things that people get so habitually used to fighting the Archviles with, the freeze lock-ons, the falters with the frags, the crucible, the hammer, all of those are rendered useless. So you not only have an Archvile where you're going to be tested to fight him a little differently, he shoots a lot faster, he summons very quickly. Look how fast that happened. Can you believe that? I just was talking to you for a half a second and he already had a full roster in. Imagine trying to disable that, going in, blood punching, breaking his shield. The possessed Archvile, I think, if you let him go, is one of the deadliest, most formidable possessed enemies. I think really if I were to rank him, it would definitely be way up there. Probably one of the worst, if not the worst. What do you think? Comment below and let me know, by the way. Now, of course, if you can have a handle on this guy, he's not so bad, right? Maybe. This was a personal favorite of mine. This is the Possessed Armored Baron. Now, I just want you to look here. This is in Combat as Imora Master level, and I want you to know how good this arena is for this guy. It's so tight and packed and dense, and it really puts a lot of pressure on you. Now, let's take a look and see how difficult this guy is now. We want to wait for that opening and see what we can get from him. Of course, it's pretty quick. You know, you have to be fast about it. And, of course, whenever he's done, you have a regular Possessed Baron to deal with as well. He's seeming to run away, but, you know, they're not always that friendly. So if we want to use the microwave method to knock him out, we can. But altogether, he's almost like a mini-boss because of how aggressive he is in this tiny space. It really pushes your movement when you have to face a possessed armored baron, right? And the microwave beam, it takes so long to get rid of his shield. And you have to conserve your microwave for the spirit that comes after, right? Man, this guy is so brutal, and he makes a really difficult possessed enemy. I would say on the difficulty scale, from a 1 to a 6.66, he would definitely be a 7, and especially in this fight, as you do enough damage, the other support comes in to help you out. Comment your favorite below, and then check out the Ultra Nightmare tier list rankings here. I'm Allstin, thanks for watching.